भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, thou abidest in all, thou art all, thou assumest all forms, thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss. Salutations unto thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Let us feel our true nature, the unchanging core of our being, beyond the changing body, the changing mind. Let us think of it to experience that by transcending identification with body and mind is the goal of life, because therein one finds the ultimate fulfillment. True infinite bliss and love. This is beyond time and space. Therefore, one without second. Same. One true Atman or self in all different forms. Let us feel this oneness of this self. This is the abode of peace and freedom. As Bhagavad Gita says, realizing which nothing more remains to be attained. peace, peace, peace. Om Brahma me tumam madhu me tumam Brahmameva madhumetu mam Brahmamedhaya madhumedhaya Brahmameva madhumedhaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the all-pervading absolute existence, the Brahman, be realized by us. May the absolute bliss be realized by us. May Brahman, who is also the absolute bliss, be realized by us. May we realize Brahman by purification of our consciousness. May we realize the absolute bliss by the purification of our consciousness. May we realize the Brahman, the existence absolute, which is also the bliss absolute, by purification of our consciousness. Peace, peace, peace. This verse from Mahanarayan Upanishad describes the goal and the means of achieving that goal. The goal is to experience the Brahman, which is also the bliss absolute, and the method of it is we really don't want to get it from anywhere. It is our true nature. We just need to push away the misunderstanding as to what we really are. So, this is the process in Vedanta, and if you deeply see in all religions, that the idea is that get the correct understanding as to who you are. So, like even it is said that that was the ultimate last teaching of Socrates. Know thyself. So, this is the goal of life. And all our teachings are somehow or other, directly or indirectly connected to this. The topic that we are going to discuss today is discussed in Vedanta in several texts, and we shall try to fathom the understanding of these three states, that waking, dreaming, sleeping. In a way, this subject is very familiar to everyone because everyone experiences this state, these three states. Hopefully, nobody is in the dreaming or sleeping state right now. It is, otherwise, they will not be able to hear what I am saying. So, while the discourse is going on, please stay in what state? Sleeping? Waking, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but we are going to discuss the meaning of this waking state, dreaming state, and sleeping state First, we will take a quick overview of the modern neuroscience or this psychology talks about it. Uh, they do give some wonderful insights by analyzing how the brain functions in these three states. And we find it very interesting, but they touch only the surface. And we'll come to the cause why they do not go any deeper than that. But let us see what they have to say. That a person sleeps, what happens? As I mentioned, everybody experiences these states, but rarely anybody knows what changes, what happens. When you go to sleep, what happens? When you are dreaming, what happens? Nobody can exactly tell that when the dream started. You were just dozing. Maybe you saw it is about 11 o'clock at night and feeling sleepy. And sometimes people take a book to read. Not to read, but while reading, you will fall asleep quickly. So, and then you fall asleep. But at what exact time this state changed? You are not aware of that subjectively, directly as yourself. Because if you know what time you are going to sleep, then naturally you are awake at that time. You are looking at the clock. So that was not the time when you fall asleep. So, by indirect means, like what the neuroscientists do, is that they analyze it by using uh, the EEGs, the encephalographs of the brain activity, that how the brain activity is going on at one place at one time, and then see that how it matches. So there is the type of sleep, stage one, that it is you sleep and then it is known as either N1 or NREM, means not REM. REM means rapid eye movement. That has this acronym REM, and so many just say REM sleep. It is, we form acronyms very fast. So it is NREM means the sleep which doesn't have rapid eye movement. And it is the first stage when you are kind of dozing. Uh, you have some awareness of the external world, but very, very hazy, and in a minute or so that also vanishes. So that stage is supposed to last for about 1 to 7 minutes. The second stage, which also gets the name N2, that lasts 10 to 25 minutes. Then the stage 3, that the slow wave N3, sleep, it is, these cycles, they are called delta waves, which last for 20 to 40 minutes. It is deep sleep. And then there is the stage 4 called REM, rapid eye movement sleep, which is very interesting and is considered identified with the dream state. When we are dreaming, there is an intense activity that is going on, not in the body per se, but that intense activity gets reflected in the eye movement, and that therefore there is the rapid eye movement observed then, and so that lasts from 10 to 60 minutes. Now, although this is a chart, there is still lot of dispute and gray areas, and uh, the overlapping of the stages, these four stages. But this is how, by applying various electrodes to your head, and then they get it on that screen and find out how the waves are and what do they indicate. Nobody actually goes and tries to wake up that fellow. Are you dreaming? No, that is not what is done. But you guess that at that time this person probably was dreaming on the basis of some evidences. Then there is, at this particular, when these waves were seen, the person was fully asleep. Uh, then there are these waves when there was, person was half asleep. And here probably the person was kind of awake. So all these different waves, they indicate certain stages of, say, either waking, dreaming, or sleeping. I will show you some charts. Again, it is these sites, they say, they tell that one has to take it with a pinch of salt because they are true only at a statistical level. Means when you have thousands or millions of people or millions of such graphs, then you can form some tangible conclusions about how they respond to the various psychological and mental states or responses. These responses are depicted in these waves. These are gamma rays, gamma waves. I mean, so it is depending on, the wave can be understood by two, uh, at two levels, one by frequency and another by amplitude. So these waves, as you see, there is the rapid movement there. So, and also the amplitude doesn't seem to be very high, but very much fluctuating. So, this is identified as the waking state. The person is kind of awake and active. Then there are the beta waves. The person is, this is busy, active mind, but comparatively less busy, as you can see, compare it with the gamma. This beta has already, there is some indications of slowing down. Then there is the alpha wave. Then it is very uh, restful, and it is it is reflective, but what exactly it means is not very clear. It is very restful. As you can see, the waves, the frequency is not much, and then amplitude also goes high but tapers off very often. And then theta, it is characterized here as drowsiness. Means you are kind of all fog is there. Nothing is being done, no activity. It is so. That is theta wave. You can see it is more or less the straight graph line. And then delta, it is again plain wave like that, very little changes. And although this I have taken from sciencedirect.com, it is connected by many with dreaming. Although in another source I see the dreaming is very high frequency but low amplitude, that amplitude, low amplitude, high frequency. That is characterized by the dream state. So this is how the idea that you get from the neurological studies about what actually happens during these three states. And there is all such books, they say that there is lot more to learn about it. We do not have much conclusive evidence about any of these things. So, and they hope that future research will open up many doors. The Vedanta says that even if you keep on doing lot of research, there are some limitations of science, kind of self-imposed limitations, which will actually prevent these studies from going very deep. The self-imposed restrictions are that we will see only the physical matter. Only that will be studied. And the mind is not really open to the physical calibration or calculations. It is, you see that they mention that the brain mappings, the mappings of the mind on the brain. But that doesn't mean that you know the mind. You only look at the mapping. Just like, if you see a mountain and then you see its shadow, the sun is behind that, and you see the shadow of that mountain. Now, from that shadow, you do not judge much. Only that picture you can get. So, the scientific, physical science methods have this self-imposed limitation. They access to mind. They think that there is impossible to get. You cannot see the mind. You cannot hear the mind. So, therefore, no sense organs can actually touch the mind. And some go to the extent, even among the psychologists, that there is nothing like mind. It is all only brain. So, let us just focus on that. And some even say that, well, even if you do not get much out of the analysis of brain, it, after all, uh, what we want in psychology is to make the behavior of the person acceptable socially. So they work only on the behavior, call themselves behaviorologists. So, anyway, uh, I will not dwell much on this because this is not what you come to learn at Vedanta Society. You want to know how Vedanta deals with this subject. And it is very interesting topic that in Vedanta we see, and that this Atman or self is all pervading. All pervading. You can right now get an idea of it. Just, uh, remove the shapes from your awareness. Shapes. Like, animal crackers. I like that example. Animal crackers. What, Richard? Do you know animal crackers? Yeah, you haven't eaten them or them. Okay, yeah. So, animal crackers. What are you? Have you eaten animal crackers? Huh? Yeah, yeah. So you know that the crocodile or camel or lion, these different shapes, but actually the taste is the same, the substance is the same. It is only those very little babies who are identified with the forms. They think that they are different. And if that baby is asking for a camel, and if the mother gives, oh, camel, I'm not finding, take this rabbit, this, the baby will get very upset and starts crying. No, what is this? It is because the baby is identified with the form. When the baby goes to kindergarten, already knows that the camel is same as crocodile, everything is same. So we are like the spiritual babies. We get identified with the form that I am uh, having this height, this shape, this weight, and so forth. So, therefore, we see the distinctions that here is the Swami, here is this, here is that, and then identifying with the form, what happens is that we miss the content. When we grow to even spiritual kindergarten, then we are able to push aside the forms. And then we see that I am everywhere, isn't it? I am everywhere. And thus you see that there is no restriction to you. You are everywhere. But this knowledge that the self is uh, having this ignorance. And so there comes a division that Vedanta speaks of in three layered bodies. That the Atman is pure, but in ignorance assumes the three bodies. And the first body is just a ignorance of one's all-pervading nature, and therefore has this erroneous awareness which forms the basis of all that we do in this world. What is this erroneous awareness? I and the world. You identify with some shape, which is shifting continuously. I and the world. I challenge friends. Can anybody draw a demarcating line as to where I ends and the world begins? It is impossible because there is no such line. How can you demarcate? Only in ignorance such line is there. That line exists only in ignorance. It is like the horizon. You see a line. Is there such a line actually? And therefore, just as there is no such line that can be called horizon, we can never actually reach horizon because such a thing does not exist. So, therefore, this is an ignorance division born out of ignorance. I and the world. And that is called causal body. That is causal, means that becomes the cause for the next bodies, next two layers. These two, I and the world, because actually there is no separation, there is this struggle to regain that oneness. And so the I keeps on craving for the world. I want this from the world, that from the world. And that wanting can be physical or mental, many such, anything. All creatures have this, therefore, craving that they run towards the world. It is in many Upanishads, this has been described very poetically and graphically, like in Aitareya Upanishad, a small but and archaic Upanishad actually, but describes it so beautifully that this, uh, as this ignorance is the I and the world, I feels very hungry. The world is the food. I runs after the world. World running ahead, I keep on chasing it as it were. And so first it tried to catch that food, the world, by using the eye, but could not catch. And the Upanishad writes a very nice comment there that, and therefore, even now, just looking at the food does not satisfy anybody. What, Charlie? Isn't it? You don't feel satisfied even if there is a plate of food before you. You look at it, no, you don't get satisfied. Then tried to catch it with the ear, could not, because it is not possible, it is not open to be caught by ear. So even now, therefore, it is not possible for people to be satisfied just by hearing about the food. So then it uh, grabbed the food and put it in the mouth and thought that I have eaten it, but no, soon starts seeing it again and starts chasing it. So that is how the whole life goes, in chasing the world without getting any satisfaction out of it. And because we are chasing that which does not exist, like chasing the horizon. It is the life goes, in childhood you think that afterwards I will get it. Let me finish this 12th exam. Till then I will become free from the parents' clutches. Then I will become free, then I can do whatever I want. That it becomes 18-year-old, but still the misery continues. Okay, let me become, get some bachelor's degree or something, then it will be all right. It continues, you don't get it. Gradually you become an old person and still you haven't got it. So it is that chasing continues. And for chasing, this causal body now acquires the means how to chase, tools to satisfy the craving. Now there are the two types of these tools. Now, because these terms have become very commonplace during the Upanishadic times, these software and hardware terms were not there, so it was a bit difficult to explain. Now, this is the subtle body, this is the software that has the mind, intellect, memory, ego, sensory organs, motor organs, and the power controls. This is this subtle body. The description is given. I am not going much deep into it because that is not exactly the subject of our today's discussion. So, this in Mandukya Upanishad, in Taittiriya Upanishad, you will find that detailed description of what is a subtle body. So, just like the gross body, it eats through all these different mouths. The organs are like the holes. So they are like 19 mouths there, from which the things are, the world is taken in. So these are the software tools. But the software tools, they have to be, connected to the hardware. You need hardware also where the software gets loaded. It is, if you do not have, for example, the uh, computer on which to load the Windows system, then where are you going to put it on? You need hardware that will match the software. It is a very tricky issue. It is same, just as we get this issue many times, mismatching of software and hardware. When one time we were thinking that, well, this seems to be a very important, nice program for us, so let us download. It rejected, saying that your hardware capabilities are not up to the mark for this. You have to have this and this and this. So it is like that. This subtle body will be mapped onto the gross body. And then, according to the capabilities of the gross body, the hardware, now, according to the capabilities of the hardware, the software will find its expression. So, what is the hardware? This what we call gross body. So, uh, just to give you an idea, this gross body, hardware, software, I told that story many times here, long back in about 1990 or 91, uh, at our uh, mm, society that in India got first computer. And then the engineer uh, who came to install, a very nice lady, brilliant. I asked her, can you explain to me in layman's language what is the difference between hardware and software? And I still remember the explanation that she gave then, that whatever you see or touch or feel by, that your looks, it is all hardware. Then what is software? That which makes it function. That is the software. It is so. She gave another example. You know the cassette. Those days the sound cassettes used to be there. So nowadays most of the younger people have never seen them. It is so. She said, "Look, this cassette and this cassette, they are same to look at, but what do you do? You play music. The music would be different. It will be different here, different there. You may put some, other things on it. Any audio file can be put on it. Now that is the software that functions through this hardware. So even I could understand, So I'm greatly indebted to that young lady. So for explaining it to me. So it is, so what is this hardware that we see and what the brilliant scientists they analyze? That bones, flesh, blood, brain, gross organs, including the gross sensory organs and gross motor organs. They are part of the parts of the this gross body that we say born. And when we say somebody's birthday, it is so and so, we are talking about that association of that body when it took shape, etc. So it is seen, it is touched, it is all that, It has, so this is the gross body. So we have thus these three bodies. Now I will turn to the topic how Vedanta deals with what is waking, what is dreaming, and what is sleeping. A very interesting analysis. A waking state is when Atman is covered by all three bodies, as it were somebody has put on the shirt, pant, and an overcoat, and these underwear garments also are there. Underwear garments, they a little one layer over it, and then a big overcoat. So the three bodies are working together there. The identification is with all the three bodies there. So mainly with gross body, because that is beyond that we find it difficult unless we have a meditative temperament. But still we feel that, for example, suppose nobody is going to do that here, but suppose somebody gives you a blow, and then your body feels the pain of it, but for a short time it goes away. But the pain that is felt in the mind, that continues, maybe for ages. Oh, that fellow and did it like this to me. If somebody utters a bad word to you, the body doesn't have much of an effect of it, but the mind carries it for ages. And so it is. So you actually feel both these bodies, the gross body as well as the subtle body. The subtle body actually is the storehouse of everything. Like in our same analogy of computer science, that everything gets stored in this software. The program stores everything, gets microprocessed. All the files that you use, they get stored as softwares. So the gross body doesn't store anything. All the experiences, all the works that we do, all these joys and sorrows that we get, uh, all that gets stored in this subtle body. Gross body, maybe, like when you eat, you use maybe a fork, and now you don't eat the fork, It is just to pick the food and put it. So the food goes in the body, not the fork doesn't go in the body. So similarly, the gross body is like a fork to pick these experiences. So this is Atman is covered by all three bodies, as if undergarments, shirt, pant, overcoat, all of them functioning and identified with in the waking state. This is when we are awake. Are you? I think none of you are awake. Are you? Okay, okay, yeah. So it is. So all these three bodies are working together there. So, and this self is ever present. It is, but our identification is with these three bodies, and the more meditative and more poetic and artist a person is, the identification shifts, from gross body and more to the subtle body. Less with the gross body, more to the subtle body. But actually, there are all these three bodies simultaneously working there. Then what happens when you dream? Dreaming state, only the subtle and causal bodies covering the self. No identification with gross body when you are in the dream state. It is. See, you can tally it with your experience. In the dream state, the gross body is lying on the bed, not going anywhere. But as the example in the Mandukya Karikas is that the person rides an elephant in the dream, goes everywhere and comes, and well, that's it. So that is the dream. One gets into that dream state when you wake up, even if you remember some dream, you know that that was not real. The elephant cannot come in this room, and then I could not have gone on the elephant. It's all just dream. But when you were seeing the dream, that was real. You were not identified with gross body then. You were identified with the subtle and causal body. That is when the dream state happens. It is, and when exactly the dream begins, nobody knows. Although there are those uh, records given by these all those encephalographs, EEGs, and that show that these electrodes were functional, and then these particular waves were seen. So probably that was the dream state. So it is one thing that, it is, everybody agrees that the dream state is of intense activity, but the people doing research in this, they are perplexed by one phenomena, uh, that it is more difficult for a person to wake up from the dream state than the waking state. Waking state and the dream state, or even deep sleep state. If somebody is sleeping in a deep sleep state, that person could be woken up more easily than the one in the dream state. And it is Vedanta can explain it. That in dream state you were already busy with one activity, and so you had to stop that activity and then take up another. In the sleep state, you were not doing anything as such, you were free, so you were shaken up. Okay, yes, you are ready to come out of it and in the waking state. So this is why the dream state is state of intense activity, but not in gross body. There is a different topic that I don't want to discuss today, that is about the sleepwalking. It is a different phenomena. And again, only Vedanta has some good explanations on that, how this sleepwalking occurs. There are other things that the sleep doctors like our Tilakji, he just entered. So he tells about involuntary movements in the sleep and so forth. So it is, but this state of this identification with only the subtle and causal bodies, they are covering the true self at that time. And so your experience is that of the dream state. And you eat in the dream state, you have the mouth to eat. You take a sumptuous lunch also. At that time, you don't think this is not the time to take lunch. This is night and I am sleeping. No, no. That for the gross body, it may be night. But in your dream body, it is daytime. So you are seeing the daylight and whatever. So in the dream state, you see. Even if your eye is impaired, in the dream you can see very well. Say for in the waking state, you require the glasses to see. And while sleeping, most of you, they take the glasses out and then sleep. But that doesn't really hinder your seeing during the dream. You can see the dream very well. Maybe you have to put on the dream glasses. So it is, and thus all experiences, in fact, according to Vedanta, and there is the reason behind it that I will come to it at the end of this lecture, that the dream state has far more versatility than the waking state. Far more intense perception of colors and smells and all other touch, everything is they're in the dream state. So, and the reason I will come to it later. So, this is the description of the dream state. What has happened is that the connection with the gross body has been taken out. Like they now, when you want to go to bed, the thick overcoat and all, you can't really go to bed with that. So you take off those that clothings. So similarly, the gross body has it, as it were, is unbuttoned and kept on the hanger. Don't throw it away because you will need it again. So you keep the gross body, but now you don't put it on. Now you are only in this subtle and causal body. Think about it. And that is where you get another experience. The gross body, when you put it on, you have the gross body experience. You have, uh, when you take it out, just as if you are wearing, say, dark red glasses, then you see everything red. Nothing has really become red, but because when you take those glasses off, you see the normal vision. So, this is the dreaming state, a completely different experience that one gets there because the connection with the gross body is cut off. Then there is the sleeping state. And now only one covering is there, that of the causal body. It is, don't go too much by these pictures, they are just to give some idea that now only the one layer of clothing is there, and now there is no identification with either gross body or the subtle body. The identification is still only with ignorance that I am so and so. Now, how is this causal body? Many ask this question. After I describe the gross body and subtle body, and then say that there is the causal body, and the question automatically comes, Swami, please describe in more details this causal body. Sorry, friends, there are no tools available to describe it. All the tools are either in the mind or in the physical body. So, therefore, no tools are there to form the words. To form the words at the causal body level, no words are there. You cannot describe that state. Then how do you know that I was there and I was still a distinct entity? There is a proof for that. And that when you wake up as the same person that went to bed, isn't it? It is not that this Abhijit woke up as Mita. That doesn't happen, you see. It is that they are different. So that distinction is retained in the deep sleep. But it is like you say, lock your house, going out somewhere. And then at that, when you are away, you are not very sure what is happening there at the house. But then you come back and you go into the same house because you have the key for the same house. So you go into the same house. So similarly, when you wake up from this deep sleep, where you are not dreaming and of course are not awake, so you are disconnected from the gross body as well as from the subtle body. And still you know what it is. So when you wake up, You wake up as the same person. This is a universal experience. So this is how the sleeping state, and both the gross body is switched off and the subtle body is also switched off. I will give a very familiar example to elaborate a little bit on this, how these three bodies are connected. That each of these at three bodies, when you go, gross body has very little uh, functionality, comparatively speaking. Doesn't have much versatility. It doesn't have much pervasiveness either. Its extent is very limited. For example, by gross body, if you are in this hall now, you are not at your home, isn't it? You can feel at home here, but in a different sense, you say. So it is, you cannot be at two places as gross bodies. But mentally, you can be here, there, many places too. The mind is more versatile. So it is this familiar example of an electric fan, the outer blades and all that structure. You see, when uh, that, and then there is the motor that powers those blades, etc., and then the electric power that actually is powering it. So now, when you have a fan, then all three things are functioning. The fan blades which are moving, the support structure there, that is there. And also the motor is running. That motion of the motor is transmitted to these blades. And also there is the electric power that is connected to the motor. All the three things have to be functioning when the fan is running. But you can remove the motor. Say for just to test it, it is not working, or you want to, repair it. So you take it out. You fix it. But before fixing it to the fan, you see the motor is still run. That you make it run. Yes, motor runs without the fan running. Without the fan running, because you have not fitted it to the fan. So the fan is not running, the motor is running. The motor is far more versatile. That same motor can be used for many different functions than just making the fan run. So when you see only the motor, its versatility, as it were, gets opened up. This gross body is represented by this fan, electric fan, well connected with motor and electric supply. So that is like the waking state. This waking state, all three have to be functional. Now, the motor can function on its own, of course, with electric power. So, even if the fan is not functioning, still the motor can function. But fan cannot function without motor. So the gross body cannot function without the subtle body being there. This subtle body is like this motor. And then the electric power. Electric power would be there, uh, independent of whether it is connected with that motor or not. Electric power functions irrespective of it is connected to motor or not. Motor cannot function without electricity, but electricity would be functional without the motor. You can put it, to hundreds of functions like this sound system. You can have the lights with the electric. You can use it for heating, cooling, so many different capabilities, all of them. So as you go deeper, more and more oneness is seen, more and more pervasiveness seen, more and more power and versatility becomes opened up. So it is in waking state, it is the full fan. All the three have to be functional. In dream state, this external fan connection is taken out. The motor and of course the electric power connected to it, that is running. And then deep sleep, it is only the uh, electric power that is going on. So this is an analogy, and analogies, of course, they have their own defects. So do not stretch the analogies too much. Don't ask me the question whether it is 110 volts or 240 volts that you are talking about. No, no, it is not, don't stretch the analogy too much. So this is how we can think about it. So, dear friends, so I have concluded this topic, and a very interesting topic. And think about it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Do you have any question? That Richard has. You were dreaming. Yeah, he was dreaming, so he didn't see Richard. Hmm. Come on,
Okay,
come on. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you woke me up, sorry. I was thinking about movies, and the reason people like to go to the movies is that the concentration is there, the color saturation is incredible. You even have music to go with it. It's a little bit like dreaming. Our dreams are more vivid,
Could be.
close to being like in the movies.
Yeah, could be, it is, if somebody is getting into that, of course, there is high level of concentration. But they would make the movies in the dream then, not in the real waking state,
Coming-
that has to
coming
get
soon.
translated into that.
Coming soon, it's coming
Yeah,
soon.
coming soon. Here that Sudipta Babu there, he has a question.
So excellent talk, and fascinating, of course, this idea. The question I have is, if I remember correctly, in Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a story of Janak Raj who gets into a confusion when he has this dream, and then he couldn't distinguish between dream and reality, and says, "Iha sotto na uha sotto." Is this reality, or was that real? And Rishi Ashtavakra comes and tries to clarify that. So, in this context, can you tell us, connect the two?
Yes, just one minor correction, that story comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yeah, but that is besides the point. It is one of the major thesis of Vedanta, and this dreaming and sleeping and waking are used as tools. As I told in the beginning, there is this discussion is for understanding the truth. So, what gets vitiated, changed, that is not true. What is impermanent, that is not true. The waking state experience and dreaming state experience, they negate each other. Like if you are, you have eaten a full stomach supper, still in the dream that would get negated and you may feel hungry. So it is like that the dream state negates the waking state, and the waking state negates the dream state. So both are equally illusory. This is used, of course, the discourse is being given in the waking state, like I told in the beginning. This is to be heard while being awake. So it is in the waking state, you feel that the world is so real, Compare it with the dream state. You were feeling the same, that state was real when you were dreaming. In fact, there is this very nice story about that teacher of Tao, that he once dreamt that he has become a butterfly. And then when woke up, he could not really judge whether I am really a butterfly and feel in the dream I am seeing that I am a human being, or I am a human being and dreamt that I am a butterfly. Because these two states are identical. You cannot logically show any difference between these. So, therefore, this tool is used to inculcate the dispassion for this world. Once you see that it is unreal, you don't get attached to it. That was the purpose of that. Thank you. Yes, Sarada?
So if the causal body is sort of the separating factor, the I and mine, or the thing that differentiates us from reality, what is the difference between the causal body and like the jiva or the individual being, or are those sort of synonymous?
Individual being, is the reflection of this self who is always present, That, I forgot to show you one slide. That was the last slide. That is where your question pertains to, that the true self remains ever pure, ever perfect, ever blissful. There is ignorance is the connection, that's all. And therefore, there is no real connection. Because when you say the connection is in ignorance, means it is not real. It in knowledge, there is no connection. So it is just a reflection. Like you may see in a pond that the reflection of the sun there. And ask yourself the question, is the sun in the water there or not? It is and it is not, because you are seeing it. So it is there, and it is not because you cannot take it out. It is not there. So therefore, the jiva is a state like that. You feel that consciousness, because all these states, according to Vedanta, and this is a very subtle point that I am not going to touch today, that all, whether a gross body or subtle body or causal body, they are matters, matter of different levels, that's all. But nothing of that is consciousness. What makes that conscious is the reflection of the self in it. Yeah, thank you. Any other question? Oh, there is somebody there. This microphone is coming to you. You can sit there, yeah.
Sorry, I'm new to this. This is the
Oh,
first
that's
time
all
I'm come
right,
here. It was an excellent lecture. Thank you very much. I think connecting with the previous, my question was going to be that if the causal body is only recognized by the absence of any thoughts or imagination, then my question was, why really have something called a body? To which you answered, these are all fictional separations in our mind. Excellent answer. Thank you
Yeah,
very
very
much.
good question, that what is then the proof of existence of causal body? If there is no way that you can show it, and the way to show is that this dreamless sleep, and you wake up and then you exclaim, I was sleeping blissfully. That experience of bliss in the deep sleep is the proof of that. Yeah. But of course, you feel it only when you wake up. Yeah. There is no other proof. I agree with you. Any question up there, Jitendra?
Yes, Maharaj,
Oh
one
my
question.
goodness. Okay.
question from Beverly Collins.
Huh?
Beverly Collins, question from
Oh, Beverly. Yes, please.
how to stop transferring one's own feelings onto another person.
Because there is the connection, it cannot be stopped because there is the whole world is really one. And so, therefore, the transmission would happen willingly or unwillingly. The transmission of one's emotions and feelings could travel to others. Therefore, it is said that always harbor holy thoughts. So, if it gets transmitted, good things will get transmitted. Yeah.
One
Any
more
other
question,
questions?
Master.
Right.
This is from Alice.
From?
Unsupported thought exists only without words.
What does it say?
Unsupported thoughts exist only without words? Question mark.
Without what?
Without words.
Word.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, no, there are words, at gross body level as well as at the subtle body level, there are words. At causal body, there are no words. So therefore, in the dream state, at the level of that subtle body, you converse. In fact, again, an example of high versatility. In dream stage, nobody has any language difficulty. You can understand the languages of birds, plants, stones, everything. So therefore, you see, lot of words are there. In fact, very small portion of the vocabulary that is available to us in dream state gets expressed in the waking state. So yes, there are words. At the causal level, as I mentioned, we don't have tools to word. Words are not necessary there. It is actually, now it is another theory, it will be another talk that I don't want to start on today. There are 4 levels of language that are described in Vedanta. One is Vaikhari, means that, which is that the gross language, the external language, like we say English or Spanish or French or Hindi. So these are the external languages, and they come out as sound. External sound, audible sound. Then behind that there is Madhyama, the language at the dream level. It's a very interesting subject, but the clock is telling me, hey, stop. So it has its own language. So it is, then there is the language called Pashyanti. And that is the language imagined at the level of causal body. It has no expression and yet it is there. So, causal body, that is the called Pashyanti. And then there is the Para, the supreme, all-pervading consciousness. There is the oneness that is completely having full communion. At that level of communion, you don't need communication. So no language is necessary there. So anyway, a very good question. Sometimes we will take up that topic. So I'll let you know about the upcoming programs. Next Sunday, there is an important special program, and that is our annual general meeting of Vedanta Society. It is. So please, all devotees, members, everybody is specially requested to attend that meeting, Vedanta Society's general body meeting. That will be immediately after the lecture. The topic of that lecture is transformation through meditation. The Tuesday and Friday classes during the week at 7:30 p.m. will go on as usual. Tuesdays, the topic is Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and on Fridays, it is the stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. And then daily meditations, prayers, morning and evening, they are also going on for coming week. And then week after that will be the last week before we take this summer break. So we will be torturing you for another 2 weeks only. Of course, not that we will stop torturing, the mode of torture will become a little different, that's all. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. After that, there is the Arati in this hall. It can be seen and sung from here also. So if you want to get into the shrine room, you have to remove your shoes. And please remove your shoes right where you are, and so that they don't get cluttered outside here. Right under your seat, please put them. And then there will be the wonderful music concert by a very well-known, wonderful singer, Mitali Bhaumik. She has performed all over, but at this Vedanta Society, we are getting that privilege for the first time. So please join the music concert that will be in the basement. And then there will be soup supper after that. So let me conclude with the closing prayers. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
All our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Transcendent yet filled with love. You free us from the stain of sin and ornament our world. Consciousness is a form. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Looking at them, illusion is gone. Ocean of shining love and feeling, ever inebriated in your infinite love. this world. Revealed to us as God incarnate and the Lord of all things, helping us join with you. Your mind's always set in the divine light. Your mind's always set in the divine light. This we can see through your grace. Destroyer of our worldly sorrow and compassion soul, infinite is the world. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance, saving us from darkness and fear. Renouncer of lust and lucre, therefore you were always earning sensual life. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Grant to us pure love for you. You're fearless and you're free from doubting, with your mind very firmly resolved. Causeless refuge of your devotee. Causeless refuge of your devotees, renouncing caste and birth. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Darkness is destroyed by your light. Oh Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. darkness is destroyed by your light. Oh Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Langa, ranga, panga, these are all the sounds of Mritanga. Langa, ranga, panga, these are all the sounds of Mritanga. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Jaya Jaya for your worship divine. Hara Hara for your worship divine. Shiva Shiva for your worship divine. Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Auspicious and blessed graciousness sublime, all noble ends you give to us, granting us refuge, all things guarding. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis, nature's essence. O Mother Divine, our love to you. We come seeking refuge from anguish. Be our Savior through your deep concern. All our suffering removes Goddess. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Victory, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ram Krishna Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Buddhadev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jesus Christ Ki Jai.